Hey everybody, The Great Escape here, and welcome to another episode on our Minecraft Let's Play Update Aquatic World. And it's been a couple weeks since we've been back on this world, and not much has changed. I've had a lot of busyness at work and things like that, but we're approaching in the United States the Thanksgiving holiday. So I'm looking forward to playing some this week and getting some work done around the base and maybe finishing some things up. Last episode, we worked on this, which will be the first kind of futuristic build on this island. And so I may do a little bit of work with that today, but one of the things I wanted to kind of check on over here was, since the latest update to the PS4 version, I think we did manage to finally get Guardians spawning on all Guardian farms. So we're going to head over to the Guardian farm right now, and we're going to see if those Guardians are spawning the way they should be, and I'm going to start thinking about laying out the design for my Guardian farm and maybe show a couple examples and see what you guys think, and go from there. Now, the actual farm itself will be based on the one that I've already done a tutorial of on my channel, but the actual, kind of the way it will look and the design of it might be different. So definitely searching for some input there. So if we head over, we can already see off in the distance, there's the Guardian farm. I apologize if there's any like weird sounds in the background. For some reason, my PlayStation is going into overload because, oh, look at those beautiful Guardians. My PlayStation is going to overload because I've been trying to download the Fallout 76 first day patch, the whatever 40 or 50 gigabytes that it was, for the last couple days, and my internet connection is not as good as it could be, and so we've got that. So here we go. So looking at this, I've already got kind of an outer perimeter set up, so I know exactly where I need to place down my sand. I'm not going to fill in the whole thing with sand, but instead I think I'm going to do lines of sand about 5 blocks apart, and then grid it off and do the sponge method going down and see how effective that is. And so today, while I think about plans and what's coming up and all that kind of stuff, we might have like a little chilled back episode with some gathering of sand and different resources and getting things together and maybe doing a little work on that. The only problem with getting my Guardian farm set up and ready is that all that sand that I would use to create the concrete and everything is going to go towards setting up the Guardian farm, but I'll get it all back at the end, so it'll be okay. So let me go over here and see what my resources look like, and we'll be right back. Alright, so this is what my sand resources are looking like right now, which is not too much, but it should be enough to kind of get things going for this, the initial beginnings of this little journey. Maybe this might be enough for, I don't know, it might not even be enough for one 5 across section, but we will get some of this together and start laying it down, and so I will need to go out and do some grinding of, let's see if I have any in any place. Yeah, some grinding of some resources and gathering things together. Since the last episode, I have managed to heal or cure 3 zombie villagers. I've got 1 in there and then 2 here, and I am going to work on kind of getting some breeding going so that I can set up some trading and different things with that, but whatever method I've done for the breeder doesn't work right now, so we'll do that. So whoops, this is here because they attract drowned, so the last time I came in here to check on him, this whole area right here was just loaded up with drowned, so it's almost even like a little drowned farm in a lot of ways, which is funny. But so let's go ahead and empty out the inventory that we've got here of these various different things. I don't need that there. Alright, so that's a pretty good start. And one of the things I'm thinking about doing today is seeing if we could challenge the Ender Dragon. Because one thing that will make this go so much faster is having shulker boxes, so I'm not having to rush back and forth through farming and all that kind of stuff to get the resources that I need. But I'm not sure if I'm quite set up yet. Oh lord. I'm not sure if I'm quite set up yet for an Ender Dragon fight, but we can always see what it looks like. No feather falling or anything. Alright, so let me finish gathering a few things together, and then we'll head back over to the Guardian farm. Slight change of plans. I think a different way of doing the placing of the sand will be to create a grid above the water and then place the sand there and then just break the grid. But I'm going to need a lot of dirt to make that happen. But I just noticed that as far as getting to the end dimension goes, I've only got 6 ender pearls. I think I haven't been to my stronghold in a little while. I think I need 11. So I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to also hunt ender pearls as well. So let me gather some dirt up and then we'll get started. I just noticed something really weird. I didn't know. So see, I'm getting instant mine on all the dirt, which is awesome. What have I got on here? It's efficiency 3. But if you notice, it's not instant mine on grass. I didn't know there was a difference between the mining speed of dirt and the mining speed of grass. Anyway, just a small little thing I noticed. Alright, so here we are back over at the Ocean Monument. And if you don't remember, there was showed a few episodes ago, perhaps, that I had already cleared out the entire inside of it, and that's all dry. So it's just a matter of getting the top part clear. And the reason I'm thinking about doing it this way is if I come through here and place the dirt like this, and then do the sand on top, I'm not going to have to deal as much with the guardians swimming around and being in the way of everything. So this should help with that. And I don't know. I'm not sure if it's easier to place the sand underwater or to do like the falling method or whatever. So we're going to test out this and see if it works. This is actually on my previous world. This is how I did the whole thing. I blocked everything off. I blocked everything off with I apparently can't talk and fight at the same time, but I blocked everything off with dirt, and I covered literally the entire monument, all like 64 by whatever blocks, with dirt, and then I covered it with sand, and then broke all the dirt, and that gave me, it covered everything up. Now, typically I could do something where instead of, I need all this, instead of, there we go, doing the exact same amount of sand on every single block. If you notice, like obviously like that area there is not as deep, so I could try to kind of make a guess of about how much dirt or how much sand I would need going across, and kind of do it like a gradient or whatever, but we'll go with that. So my first goal right now is just going to be to put all of the dirt on here and get a cross system going, and then it'll give me a sense of just about how much sand I'm going to need, since I think for each one of these I'm going to need approximately 15 blocks of sand. So we'll go, this is in the wrong place. Let's see. Yep, that's in the wrong place. So that needs to move out 1 block. So the dirt, there we go. So that's where the glass will go. Alright, so I think I'll record, but I'll probably do this as a quick little time lapse and maybe talk over it, so let me get to that. So today, while we are kind of doing this little time lapse, I thought that I'd record a brief little kind of, chat or whatever. And I was thinking, what would I like to chat with you all about? And part of that is the games that I'm really excited about towards the end of the year. If you are a gamer, you know that November and December are huge times for new games to come out and new things that I'm really excited about. And while I do play a lot of Minecraft, there are several other games that really excite me. And right now, I'm waiting for Fallout 76's day one thing to finish downloading so I can actually finally play it. Hopefully, I'm hoping that by the time I'm on break for the holiday, that I'll be able to actually get some playtime in on that. But we will have to see. But what I've been playing a little bit lately is the new drop that they just did of every Kingdom Hearts game ever made. I guess in preparation for the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, which is coming out in January, which I cannot wait for. I'm super excited for this. I've been waiting, I think now 13 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. And this past couple of weeks, I've been, in what little free time I've had, I've been working through the first original Kingdom Hearts game, and it is nostalgia central. I mean, beyond the fact that it's a combination of Final Fantasy, which I love, and also Kingdom Hearts, or not Kingdom Hearts, and also Disney, which is absolutely, complete full-on childhood reimagination. Just playing a game that I remember playing, I think for the first time maybe in high school. Gosh, it's been so long. It brings back so many memories. But you also realize when you go back and play games like this, kind of how clunky they were and how they hadn't figured quite everything out yet. And so I'm excited because I think I'm about to the point where I'm about to finish Kingdom Hearts 1, that when I pick up Kingdom Hearts 2, that I'll be able to see the transitions and changes that they did, because that was, again, like another 5 or 6 year break between games. So it's been interesting to kind of play through it. I've also never played any other Kingdom Hearts games that weren't on the dedicated PlayStation system. So, any of the ones that came out for, I think the PS Vita, or, any other systems like the DS or things. I never played them. So, Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep and all of those. And those are also included with HD remixes in these versions, and I cannot wait to check them out. So if there are any games that you're really excited about that have just come out or that have been out for years, like what are your favorite games? And I'd love to hear some of them and see some conversation down in the comments. And definitely I would join in on those, because gaming is one of the big things I love to do with my free time, and I want to hear all about the things that you love to do. And I think we're about done, so let's head back over to the server. Alright, so I have exhausted my entire inventory's worth of dirt, except it wasn't full, it was just all of these spaces here. And so I think it's only going to take maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 or 7 more stacks of dirt, and I'll be able to have this completely done. But I just want to kind of show you what it looks like right now. It has, if you noticed at night, you might have been able to see in the playback that it did create kind of a little mob farm up here. So I was kind of getting swarmed. But as you can see, I was able to do all of the horizontal ones this way, and then the vertical ones, about, I'd say, a third of them. So yeah, it's, maybe 6 more stacks of dirt, and that'll take care of it. I'm not too worried about the cobblestone I placed over there. If you don't know, let me really quick. If you don't know, there are certain blocks, and it's an interesting little thing that happens. There are certain blocks that if you have the buff, they mine much faster than they would normally. Let me see, and it might not be cobblestone, it might be prismarine. Hold on, let's check that. Yeah, so with the buff, prismarine is instant break, so I could probably go down there and do that. And actually, I think I've got enough little prismarine here to finish this out. So let me go ahead and finish this out, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back over here at my base to gather up some supplies, and I just noticed that just through placing all of those blocks, I got 42 ink sacs. I really feel like there has to be some kind of way to combine an ink farm and a guardian farm together, since the guardians will harvest the ink for you. So that would be an interesting thing to kind of work on. I'm going to play around with that in a creative world. But let me go ahead and grab up some sand, and we're going to go over there and see how much I can accomplish with this sand. And I'm going to try a method of, one of my favorite things to see on regular Minecraft YouTuber channels is kind of like a third-person view of what's being built or whatever. And that's a little bit difficult. I left my boat. Let me go back and get my boat. It's a little bit difficult to do on a PlayStation unless, you know, you have two PlayStations and, you know, somebody can, or two PlayStations in the same house and one person can videotape or whatever. And so I've been trying to think about, well, how could I do a third person time lapse? And the only way I can think about doing it is actually split screen. So I'm going to film me placing some of this sand down, or the first little bits of the sand down in a two-person a split screen view, and we'll see how it looks. If I don't think it looks good, I might not even include it. But if I'm not sure, I'll include parts of it, and definitely want to hear your feedback and thoughts on whether you think that looks good. But we'll give it a shot. So I brought some glass over here to redo. Oh, I guess I didn't need to bring the glass. I could have just, whatever, anyway. So I brought some glass over here to make sure I can redo these posts and make sure they're in the right place. And then we'll set up a little time lapse and see how that looks. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so for the second little quick time lapse chat, I thought that I would, for some of this one, give you a little conversation and talk a little bit about me or about my life or whatever, and then maybe for the last half of the clip just play some of the music. The music that I do use, it comes through Share Factory, which is included with PlayStation 4, and I love the little like the opening and closing clips that I've got. I think the song is called Beautiful Day, which is really exciting and awesome. But one of the things that I wanted to think about was music, and so in the first time last chat I talked about my favorite video games and the ones that I'm really excited about right now, like Fallout 76, which I've heard terrible things about, but I really want to experience it for myself, and the Kingdom Hearts series. But what is your favorite type of music? For me, it's really anything. There's so much stuff that I get into, and I just remember growing up, I listened to all the oldies like the Beatles and, you know, the Beach Boys and Led Zeppelin, and you know, not so much the hair metal bands like Guns N' Roses and things like that, but a lot of those like, you know, old timey 1960s 70s like Jimi Hendrix and you know, Janis Joplin and Carole King and that type of music. And I've got a lot of vinyl records that really kind of that I inherited from my parents, but also that I've collected over the years of things that I really love. And you know, I've even had the opportunity of seeing bands like Bob Dylan in concert, and so I love that type of music. But there's so many different genres that I really enjoy, and you know, if you give me some really great you know, conscious hip hop music that says something really interesting and has some great lyrics, or you know, just has a really interesting beat, or if you give me, you know, some good pop music like I don't know, Sia or Lorde or something like that, I really love to hear all of those type of things. So what type of music do you really love? Are you a country fan? Are you a pop rock fan? Are you emo? Are you know, whatever? I was just went with a friend to, you know, a bigger city a couple hours away from here to do some shopping at one of the big malls, which is always a mistake this close to Black Friday. And on the way back, we were listening to a 1990s, late 90s, early 2000s hit list from Google Play, on Google Play Music, and it was just all of the things that I remember growing up listening to, and it was so exciting to hear, you know, Taking Back Sunday and Good Charlotte and all these bands that I'd I hadn't forgotten, but I hadn't listened to it in a while. But down in the comments, let me know what type of music you really love to listen to. And again, just like the video game thing, I'd love to see some conversation going on and sharing back and forth. And recommend me your favorite band or your favorite song, and I definitely want to check it out. So I think the time lapse is about over. So let's head back over to the game. Well, so I got one block done here. As you can see, the reason I went one out from the edge of the thing was so that when this water falls down, it forms these perfect walls and doesn't spread out everywhere. So hopefully that'll continue around as I go. Wouldn't it just be wonderful to do all this and then the whole thing fill back up with water? No, we don't want that to happen. All right, so what I thought I'd do at the end here is pop back over to my base and rest, and then go into my testing world and show kind of, I've done almost this much or a little bit more than this in the testing world, and kind of show you the kind of the layout or the design that I'm working with, and see what it kind of goes with, because I still want to continue with the overall futuristic design even over in this part of the world, but it is a struggle for me. And so again, what I'm thinking about is if you have built anything super futuristic, or you've kind of begun to see the style that I'm going for, and you have some suggestions or design ideas, I'd love for you to share them with me, or send me links to them, or send me a picture through Twitter or wherever else, and kind of get some ideas. But I did want to end this video today by going over there and showing you that. So let me rest, and then we'll pop into our creative testing world. What I'm kind of thinking about, I'm trying to decide. I definitely want this color scheme so it'll match what I'm doing on the other side of the base. So the oh, they don't have any white in here, but white concrete, cyan concrete, and gray concrete. And I'm definitely thinking about mixing in some of this light gray glazed terracotta, because it gives that impression almost like that this is like a computer thing or something like that. And I had played around with the idea of like linking all of the lights up with that, and kind of do something like this or something. But I'm still playing around with the idea. So if you have any suggestions or things that we could do, and this would spread out around the whole area, and these are just the posts that come up, like these parts right here, they just come up like this, and instead of leaving them like that, it would ultimately look like this. So that's kind of the color palette I'm working with. So if you have any ideas or suggestions for the build, I'd love to see them. And then when I actually get the farm built, the farm itself, it's going to be dual modules, and they're going to go probably right here, and then another set right there. And I'm going to play around with the idea of figuring out a way to create some kind of squid or guardian powered squid farm, but I think it actually wouldn't work better here. It would work over in a river biome far away from the ocean, and I think I've got a good location for it. But thanks so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please drop a like in the down below. If you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. And my goal, of course, with the holiday coming up this week, is to get another video out maybe on Thanksgiving, and maybe another one this weekend. But it has been a busy couple of weeks, and with the holidays and everything, that's just how it goes. But thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.